Hello and welcome to page 4 of the Religion of Self-Enlightenment. I went to town yesterday and I had some exciting news because basically my book is selling, believe it or not. It sold out in Waterstones, it sold out in Heifers. They've restocked with more books than ever before. I bumped into people who said they were going to buy it as well. It was a good day and I'm going to town again today. But first, I just want to read to you the end of chapter 1. I might as well finish it because basically there's that much on the other page, so a page a day would be a little bit skimpy tomorrow if I didn't do that. So here we go. If you haven't followed the story so far, let me just fill you in. It's a very boring, robotic guy who doesn't discern his beliefs amidst the mad rush for money and power which he finds himself in. So he's closed off. He's a bit of an android, and he doesn't believe in anything at all. So here we go. And the point to be seen clearest of all is that whatever anyone else saw in the Carrick of that time, Carrick himself could never see his true self. As for the company he kept, in terms of unconditional love, Carrick's girlfriend Beth, who claimed the affections of many others, was the proud, sole flower in a bed of weeds. They had been together for almost 2 years, a long time for Carrick, who had treated his previous partners badly. At 29 years old, he was past the confusion of his youth, but still felt its lingering consequences. In his younger days, he had gotten himself into quite a muddle over the basics of his genitals and where to put them, as most do. It looks wrong. It is uncontrollable. It wants men. It wants women. It wants nothing. What is going on? And walked around with a cyclone in his head for years. Family, friends and lovers were bruised and contorted inside it. Beth, however, had a mental biography which read not at all like his. She was a lot more stable and single-minded, and the power she had over her thoughts was a gift which Carrick knelt before, as at a secret inner altar, longing as he was for such a blessing in his own life. They had met in a park on one of those sunny days that never draws breath, and her smile had been silly as she kept kicking a football against a hedge when she had been aiming for a lamp-post. 3 weeks later, Beth and Carrick were lovers, and 2 days after that, Carrick found himself having his inane post-sex banter rudely interrupted by Beth's serious questions. She actually wanted to know Carrick, really know him. This scared Carrick immediately, for he knew he had no answer to the question of who he was. One night, she lay beside him and asked in his ear if he would tell her an interesting thought he'd had recently. It took Carrick a long, long time to realise just why he became so flustered in trying to reply, why her question had moved him. He went through every conceivable explanation after she left. It was because most of his friends were very business-orientated and merely talked money and girls and maybe some sport, as you do. It was because his girlfriends before her, without exception, had been absurdly unengaging. It was because there were boundaries, for crying out loud, and just because he slept with you did not mean you could ask whatever you wanted. The physical and mental worlds were separate until stated otherwise. But no, he finally struck it. It was because she had passed the towering watchguards of his privacy and stolen from his prison the idea that there was anything interesting about him at all. Well, thank you for listening to that. I realise that I'm going about this a really tricky way. Firstly, I'm not using Facebook, which is where everyone kind of gets their social media or whatever. I hate Facebook. Secondly, I'm using Twitter, which hardly anyone uses, which is a really difficult way to go about promoting things. So I realise the views are going to be on the low side for quite some time. But hopefully people will realise what I'm doing and maybe start engaging with it. Do you like my candle? It's beautiful, isn't it? Anyway, that concludes my reading of page 4 and 5. And next up we have chapter 2. Don't forget to tune in.